At United Airlines, the readout is quite similar, that there's no indication at this point either that there was malicious activity involved or that it was related to any other of the high-profile technology issues that have cropped up today.
We've heard the warnings from the moment they were whispers until this moment when there is a not-so-shocking drumbeat. Our electronic-aged society sits on a very dangerous precipice that we created, one where paper is rarely used, where taking notes means dropping them into a hard drive, and where critical information is transmitted by milliseconds over thousands of miles of cable. And when it fails, everything stops cold. And there will be a time when it happens that we will be unable to do anything to fix it quickly. Witness what happened this day on the New York Stock Exchange and to United Airlines. You may want to be more than a little frightened. Welcome back the author of Identity Theft Alert, attorney and professor at Bentley University in Massachusetts, Stephen J.J. Weisman. Steve, good to see you again.
It's good to be with you, Ed.
Well, let's get right to it here. United, the New York Stock Exchange, WallStreetJournal.com, all with digital vulnerabilities, all went down this morning. And how odd. We just sat around and said, conspiracy. Late report today. There's an anonymous tweet, the group Anonymous, tweeted on Tuesday night that the following day might be bad for Wall Street. Everybody else, well, there's a lot of people saying, just coincidence. What do you think, Steve?
You know, this is one of these times, and even paranoids have enemies, but this is one of these times where I think it really may be a coincidence. It is possible that Anonymous did the hacking, but from what I'm seeing and hearing, it is unlikely. This is a computer. They're using the term glitch. I haven't seen the exact reason for it. But regardless of the fact, it does show, as you just said, how vulnerable we are to the computers breaking down, even if it isn't from an attack. And then we have the addition of an attack. You look at United Airlines, and that sounds pretty dangerous as well, particularly on the heels of the hacking into the Polish airlines last week. However, it looks a bit less ominous when you see that United had a computer failure in its network 4 months ago, and they've had repeated problems since the merger with Continental. Wall Street Journal, same type of thing. They've had these problems before. To me, at this point in time, it does look like it isn't hacking, but that doesn't make me feel any better because there still is that vulnerability that we have.
Not only the vulnerability, but if you look at all these places, and let's just say it was a glitch. It's a hardware/software glitch, whatever, in these companies. We're always talking about hackers getting into the system. Doesn't this teach us as well that many times we're not looking internally? Servers go bad, hard drives go bad. I mean, these are things that age just like everything else, and maybe we don't pay enough attention to that as well.
You couldn't be more on target, Ed, because we're looking at, recently there was a disclosure in a federal study about the computers that are there for our nuclear weapons system are so old. They're running old systems. They really are not the kind of secure systems that we want. And so regardless of whether the problem comes about from an outside hacker or old equipment that just isn't up to the challenge anymore, we are so dependent on our computer systems for everything, and we're not doing enough to either keep them up to date or keep them secure.
Hey, Steve, here's another one. Symantec, which is the computer security company, they come out with a study that says a group called, and they're calling this group Morpho, is not just after passwords. They're now after intellectual property, possibly to sell to competitors or nation states. We're talking about anything that you could, books, music, plans for companies, whatever. And again, here's something that we don't talk about a lot, but this is becoming more prevalent than a lot of the general hacking, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You look at China, by the way. Their military has a plane that is the absolute equal of our F-35, which is state-of-the-art. And, of course, it's the equal to our F-35 because they stole the plans from Lockheed Martin. China does corporate espionage on a regular basis, and we have not done anything to stop them, and we haven't done anything to stop them at our detriment as a country. Just the other day, when this hacking team, which is an Italian company that provides spyware, It turns out they were hacked, which is kind of ironic. But when they were hacked, it turned out that another vulnerability in Adobe Flash that had been used by hackers, and it already had been used, and it was stealing industrial secrets, intellectual property. We've got to do a better partnership of companies, corporate America, and the United States government to do a better job of protecting our economy and our people.
Steve, only 15 seconds, but we're kidding ourselves if we don't think it's eventually going to all crash one day, aren't we?
Yeah, I thought the OPM was going to be, that data breach was going to be our 9/11. I hope it is, but I'm afraid it's going to be something worse.
And we got the guys at Anonymous right now, whether it's convenience, luck, whatever, they're sitting there just laughing like a whole lot of other hackers are, but boy, we better be careful. Stephen Weisman, always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. Thanks so much for lending a little honesty to all of this. All right, take care. Coming up next, the meaning of a sanctuary city and why it helped cost the life of an innocent woman. Next on the fastest 60 Minutes in News.